Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, the Cuban edition, which you're now witnessing one of the brand new tugboats sailing away from Jamaica in the distance, guys, all the way back to our brand new harbour in Santiago. We pretty much set this up so we can start distributing goods from Cuba to our new country of origin or destination, Haiti. Now, while we're not really doing anything, we don't have any routes coming over here right now, we set this up and instantly sent boats to Jamaica because they were able to collect a bunch of the tobacco which they're putting on the platform for us right now, which we then send up via a train all the way to our cigar factory to start producing cigars. And currently, all they're really doing right now is sending the cigars back to Jamaica. Now, for some reason, some of them are going to Miami. I think they're now being taken back, which I don't really want them to be doing that, but at the minute, it's okay. I'm not going to stress too much. And we're setting up the industry so we can then start sending cigars over to Haiti. Now, Haiti requires alcohol, food, and fuel. And in today's episode, before we send our first ship to Haiti, we're going to set up a new industry that produces food and alcohol, and then we're going to bring that food and alcohol to the harbour. So my first ship, when it goes over, will have cigars, alcohol, and food all on board. We're going to create a great trading partner with Haiti. We want them to buy as many of our products, and that's what we're going to get set up. So if you enjoyed this episode and want to see more of this series as it continues, then make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new in here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. Now, to figure out how we're doing this, we know that there's a couple of food factories down here, so that's perfect. It requires grain or it requires sugar. Now, there's some sugar over here. There is also some sugar down here. But there's also two grain plantations just over there as well. And if needs be, there's two a little bit further out the way. Now, we also need to require us to create the alcohol. There is a bottling plant just there, which requires alcohol. The alcohol plant is just here, which requires grain, sugar, or water. Now, because grain and sugar are required by both industries, we've got to try and keep them separate. So it kind of makes sense for these two grain plants over here to go to here, and these two to go to here. Now, we also require water, which is water just there, so maybe we might be able to kind of connect them with one train station. And then we got to figure out how we're getting this to there, and then this down to there. Oh, it's going to be an interesting one. It really is going to be. We should be able to do it pretty simple, but it's going to be an interesting one. So, I think then we first focus on producing food, as that's going to be the easiest one to set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a quick, simplistic little road right now. So build a road, keeping it super simple, and I just want it to connect to both of these industries. So just like, okay, you're not connecting. Why are you not connecting? What is going on here, boys? No, there is a collision somewhere, and I'm not sure where it is. Right, the collision is not collisioning right now. Why can't I get you connected? What seems to be the issue here? Right, there we go. Some reason that one worked. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get building. We're going to go cargo. We're going to go high speed. We're going to go super long. We're going to go double tracks. And we're going to place this in just here. Nothing too crazy. Now, what I'm going to try and do is something a little bit differently to what I would normally do. Normally, what I would do and what would make the most sense is create a train line that goes back and forth there, delivering the goods, then have a secondary train that delivers from here all the way to over there. But because we have the train line already implemented, what I might try and do is incorporate, if possible. How far does this reach? I don't know if I'm able to do it far enough to where that station can touch this station, but I might have some trucks going back and forth just to load up the goods from here. Unless I do a simple back and forth, I think the train would be too simple. Or I could have a cargo train come off there and then turn in. That's probably also the better option, which now thinking about it, it's probably better to build the road connection over on this side. Right, guys, you can already tell right now I'm going to be very indecisive. Very indecisive here. So bringing you down, and if I cut you across, I then have my connection, building you in on a diagonal, and keeping this going. So in reality, I can now get rid of this. I can get rid of all this road. It's no longer then needed. And instead, we build our train station just here. So all the way over here, then, we've got to now set up the opposite variation. So we'll bring this out slightly. I'll run this all the way down. There we go. Delete, delete. We're going to build from here. So I'm just going to run it down all the way into here, which shouldn't be much of an issue. And the only issue it's going to be is getting the right angle for it to make the most amount of sense. So I reckon I go about there. And then just do my road connection cutting in. And then that should touch both industries, which it does. So running 2 back and forth so I can maximize the amount of trains. And then I'm going to run... So let's say I ran this something like in that direction. But obviously I don't want to do a big bridge. That's wild behavior. I'm just figuring out what makes the most sense for us. Now, I'm not too bothered about it running through all this road because we're not really utilizing this road. So bending you in, bending you in. And I'm going to do the crisscross a little bit further on, just in case the trains are super long with the amount of carriages that we do squeeze upon them. So, moving this then forward. So bringing you to there, bringing you all the way up. There we go. And then just running these directly in. Again, we're not really working with these areas, so we're not really that bothered about the infrastructure or the elevations or the road network because we're not really running anything through it. So, and we won't be, so it's okay. It's okay to do a little bit of destructiveness. One thing I've got to do, though, which my mind will not let me leave, is the smoothie. All right, let's squeeze in some smoothie. There we go. Beautiful. And then we're gonna have a nice simplistic train now going back and forth. So if I get the buildings, I go for the train depot thing, spin this right around and just drop it there. We're then just going to go back and forth right now. So new line from here to here. And we're going to call it the... What do I call it? I'm going to call it the Manzanillo grain is what we're going to call it. Keep it simple. Get it to utilize both sides. So whatever available, utilize it. And we'll set it up with 1 train to begin with. And then we'll add more on as time goes on. So let's give us a 200 capacity. No, we'll do a 300 capacity. Quite a big train, but should be all good. Right, that's now set up going back and forth. And I'm just going to leave it for now until I can decide how I'm going to do the rest. It also gives us time to get stuff delivered. Should be pretty nice. Right, that one's then done. That's the simplistic one. That's the easiest one out of all of them. This one's going to be the most difficult. Now, I've got to get grain and water, which should be fairly easy to get over there. But then I got to get this over to here. So, because it's so close down to here, do I then just set up a vehicle run? Ooh, I mean, it's possible. It could be quite easy. Or could... Now, this is a question. Does the same carriage type able to carry food, is it able to also carry alcohol? And I think it's a boxcar, right? Food and alcohol, yes. So if I could actually, in theory... Oh, this is actually a tricky scenario now. Because what I was going to do is get a train from there, connect to this, and then train it all the way over. But then what if I vehicled the food over to here, vehicled the alcohol to over here, and then trained that in one go? But then I still got to bring that over. I might just stick to my original idea, training from there in, keeping it separate, but maybe we can vehicle that potentially. Potentially. It's a tricky one. Right, let me first just figure out then if I'm able to get both of these farms and this water thing connected together. So first things first, we're going to create a connection there. And we're going to build and we'll do an en route station. But I don't like the alignment of the road. So let me just do this real quick. And we'll do it like that. And I'll make it even longer. Right, I know it doesn't fully connect to everything just yet, but let me just get rid of all of this. And then we'll go off you to there. Now that does connect to, it's not pretty, but it connects to both. Then all I've got to do is on the other side, the cargo buildings. We're going to add in some buildings here just so I can increase the storage capabilities. And then just bring a road up to here. So that's able to pick up both from there. Very handy. Very handy at this point. Now, to produce the alcohol, it's 1 grain to 1 water or 1 sugar to 1 water. So it's a 1-to-1 on both ingredients. Right. So then, if I just quickly create a straight road like this, train station, and place, you reckon that'll be fine? Yep, like that. We are then going to have to now cross over the high-speed tracks over to here. So, we'll get the tracks right now. We'll run this straight to begin with. Keep it going straight to that hill. That hill's probably quite vital right now for the elevation change. So it's a dramatic hill. Right, very dramatic. We'll smoothie as much as we can. Because my OCD will not allow me to leave it as it is. And then we are going to see if I can bridge up and over. So the natural connection like that, if I could bridge it all the way up and over like this with that type of bridge. Now, it's very long, but it will do the job. Okay, it will do the job. It avoids contacting the high-speed rail, avoids creating crissy-crossies on the road network. Like I said, does its job. Now, I'm not going to do any crissy-crossies at all now. I'm not going to do any, and I'll show you or tell you why in just a memento. We're going to run 2 separate lines on the 2 separate tracks. But what I do need to do is incorporate the rail yard. So would I want to then run a separate train going down? And then I'll need a separate train cutting in. Unless I vehicle it in. Now, do I vehicle it from there to there? Does it save me some pain and then vehicle it all the way down to there? The vehicle route's going to be quite interesting. But it should be possible. Right, if I was to do that then, let me spin this right round. And then just get my 2 lines to connect into there. So create 1 line back and forth here. And we'll call this our Holguin grain. Okay. Let's make that as it is. And then another new line. And we'll make this blue. So it is on the opposite side. And this is our Holguin water. Simple, mate. Very, very simple. So you can see that it's separate tracks. That should be pretty good. So it will only be 1 train going back and forth as well. It should only be 1 train going back and forth. So keep it diesel. It's the cheapest. I need to carry grain. So we do a 300 capacity. And then this is on our Holguin grain. Same again. But I got to change the carriage type now. So it's got to carry water, so we need the tank cars. So 300 capacity on the Holguin water. That will now do its magic. Right, so that means we'll then be producing food, or we'll have the ability to produce food. Which we can also feed some of the cities around as well, which is quite handy. Just to level up the factory. We also then should be producing alcohol. We've just then got to turn it... No, so we're creating alcohol. What are we creating here? What is it actually called? It's called alcohol. Then we got to turn it into alcoholic drinks. So that's where this interesting behavior is now going to kind of come into fashion. Now, before I do anything, Jamaica does require alcohol, so that'll be an instant buyer when I bring it in. Right. If I brought food into Santiago, Santiago would take some, so we can at least set the line up anyway. Right, I've now got to run this line coming down. And we're going to try and bend it. Right. Like this. Because it's got to go on the 2 middle for the cargo tracks. So if I just get rid of these set of signals here. And we redo the signals. So one's there, one's there, one is there, one is there, one is there. I'll do a set there and there. And then I'll do another one there. And then I'll implement a crisscross. So I will allow it to utilize both sides. Now, of course, it means we've got to implement the crissy crossies here then at this point. So that will mean that that will now eventually run on the correct side of the tracks. If I need to obviously incorporate multiple trains, that will do it just for us. The rest of it is all pretty much set up. So, another new line from here to here, which will get them to utilize both sides, both sides. Another group. This is our food line, actually. So we'll call this one our Santiago food, which will also drop off the food at the harbour for Haiti. That's what that would also do. So if I just buy the train from over here, just to make it a little bit easier for us. So diesel, bam, cargo. And we'll give it 100 capacity to begin with, and we'll always add on to it at a later date. So Santiago food, that's then pretty much set up. And that's now going back and forth on the correct side. That's already filled to the brim. So we could argue another train is not far away. But more importantly, it can now start producing. So consumers for it is straight away it's cam. Why is it straight away cam? Is that because there's a possibility it can take the food back? Where's cam? Where is cam? So how are you getting the food? I think it to be the way it brings it all the way back. So I think it will like kind of like drop off here, and then somehow it's able to take itself all the way back in a different format. But I'm not going to worry just yet, because at the end of the day, boys, it increases the amount of suppliers or consumers, thus leveling up the factory a little bit quicker than usual. So I'm not too worried at the moment. Right. That's absolutely magic then. So all I've got to do now then is bring the alcohol to the bottling plant and then bring this to Santiago. Then we're getting alcohol, food, cigars, which can then be pretty much taken over to Haiti. So we'll set up a vehicle run just because I feel like it'll be a lot easier for us. I do feel like it'll be a lot easier for us. So let's start then by building a road. Now, I'm going to try and do this in 2 different ways. We're going to get the buildings, the truck and load stop, super long, super wide. Build you like that. And then what we do is we'll add on to a little bit on cargo. There we go. I'll add some street access on the other side, and then we'll build some buildings. For a bit of storage. So then we've got one entry point for one way, another entry point for the other way. So we'll need then over here pretty much the same again. To which I'll drop it like there. And then we'll get our fast road, which will go with this one here. Bringing this just somewhat out first. And then we're going to cross over. So change the bridge style. Change the bridge style. So 2 bridges there hooked up. I wonder if I can get rid of you, you, and you. And then bring these in together as one bridge. That would do. I mean, I'm not that bothered by it. And then I need the bendy wendy tool. So bendy wendy tool straight in there. So a simple back and forth there for the trucks. And then to get down to here, how close can I do a drop-off point? So it's got to come down this road, and I can drop it off there and try and get it to turn around. So let me just, because that's close enough for the station, but also gives us a nice radius for Santiago in general anyway. So if I was able to just kind of come off this. So bring in this. Let's say we bring it down here. Here. And then run it. Whoa, that's a big bridge. I like it. Weirdly. Let me go back a little bit. That's more like it. We'll go that style for speed. And let me just do this and get this all set up. I know it's a bit funky. They're not what I would normally do, but just roll with me for a second. So we're going to go for like a goldenish colour for the distilled alcohol, boys. We'll utilise all the platforms because there's going to be a large amount of vehicles, hopefully. Right, that's done. Let me just get the vehicle yard thing placed in. We'll place it just there. And then buy. So we've got to carry the alcohol, which would be in one of these trucks, right? All cargo. Yeah. And we'll start with 10. Which will be, I didn't name the line, so it will be like line 6, right? So instantly, we can now start producing alcohol and then deliver it to over here. So then I've just got to figure out the better option for delivering to over here now. So from there to there, it's able to do a U-turn on the actual stop. So that's actually quite beneficial for us. So I'm going to call this the Santiago alcohol. There we go. I think it's about alcohol, right? I'm not too sure. And we get it to utilize all the stops on this side. So interesting approach on both angles. Should be okay. And I'll only buy 2 to begin with. So the reality of this is now we have got food being delivered. Oh, I just realized when I dropped that there, I didn't need to because I thought I was delivering food, but the food comes on train. Ignore everything I just said. So the reality is we can get alcohol delivered, but because Santiago doesn't need it, it won't produce the alcohol. Now, it should still do it because Jamaica requires the alcohol, so Jamaica should be a consumer of this. But there's been no deliveries just yet. There is now the first set of deliveries coming in. We've just got to give it all time. Is what we got to do. We've got to give it all time. So, is there a lot on that platform? Not yet. We're going to work up those numbers. But in theory, I could now create my shipping route to Haiti. So, no, there to there. Right, and I'll make it... I don't know what colour to make it. I don't know what colours I did the other shipping route. So, I'll just make it orange. This is them, boys, are Haiti... export. They're now about to buy for the first time some Cuban goods. Right, we'll get the ship from over here so we'll give it time to sail over and get what we need. And we want it to do a little bit of everything, so it's got to transport everything that will be on this ship, wouldn't it? Which is cigars, it's alcohol, it's food, yes. And we'll buy, I'll just buy 2 for now. Until we've got those numbers increased. But Haiti's now about to get, or is about to buy, Cuban goods for the first time. So that means Haiti now becomes a consumer of this, which is exciting. That does reach there, right? Oh, I've just realized. No, I've done it wrong. Not the. I got it to make it reach the port, not the train station. How foolish of me. I've just realised I'm doing it wrong. Right, miscellaneous. Right, I've got to bring out the land. Come on, game. Reclaim. Right, just reclaim to there real quick. Right, any time today. It's a big delay. It's a big delay, boys. Right, there we go. Road. So bringing you into there. So how close can I now get it that it touches it? So it's got to come down either way. I might as well just make it go the full distance now at this point. So that stop there is now pointless. I made a boo-boo. So add a stop there instead and then get rid of this one. That then means we've now got the consumers all set up. So we should see momentarily the consumer numbers then increase, because that's now able to stop off. That touches the harbour. And then give it some time, of course. But then we'll start having consumers for it. Right, I think everything is now in place. Everything should now be in place. It's now just give it time for things to increase. Right, have these completely leveled up yet? Not yet. Again, time. You're producing slowly. Just got to give it all sweet time. So we're just waiting for this then to kind of confirm that it is got consumers. Yes, Haiti is the first consumer. Oh, there we go. And there's actually alcohol on the platform. Nice. Right, it's actually happening. It's actually now all happening. So, all them systems are now in place. Granted, we've got to wait for the industries to build themselves up a little bit more before Haiti can take full advantage of the new products. Now, these could start demanding more because we should have then Haiti as a new consumer on this, which we do. Glorious. We should have Haiti as a consumer on these, which we do. Perfection. Right, I know Haiti has a coverage of that. Is that good enough for it? It's as good as. Okay, I'm not going to mess around with it. It's as good as. So we can be pretty happy with that. We can be pretty happy. So it's a case of now just waiting for everything to all now level up. So the alcohol factory is already leveling up, which is good, which means it will then start demanding more from over here, and then trains will be a little bit more full. These are yet to level up, but it's all down to transport numbers. You got to play the waiting game. We have to play the waiting game. You're too early to even level up at all. So this is good news. That's just dropped off a load of goods. Stuff is now waiting. Right, we are getting there. We are getting there. Now, these have still got room for maneuvering with leveling up with the more demand. We just gotta wait for them cigar factories to level up. Which, like many things, it does take a little bit of time. So the fact that we now have the ability to export goods to Haiti, does that mean we can now get Haiti an airport? I kind of think it does. Now, what's interesting about Haiti is the topography and the landscape of this. It's going to be very difficult to squeeze an airport in. You know what I mean? But we're going to give it a good go. So we're going to have to obviously reclaim some land, but I think it's only going to be a small airport. I say that as if that's important. Unless I just build the airport out of the way. Oh, it's a tricky one. I feel like the normal airport's going to be way too big for Haiti. It is going to be way too big. Oh, do you know what? I can actually build the airport up in the mountains. That could be an interesting one, couldn't it? Why don't we do that? Right, I've just committed to an airport in Haiti in the mountains. Have I lost my mind? I think I might have lost my mind right now, because now I'm realizing I've got to build a road going all the way down. Right. There we go. How in the world am I doing this? Oh, good God. How am I going to do this? Right. Right. Let me delete you. Let me delete you. Let me delete you. Let me pause for a hot min. There we go. Let's see what I can do here. So I want to raise this up as much as I can to get to here. but I'm going to put land on and confirm that. Now I need to raise this up as high as I can. So I'm still raising up in height. I'm going to get rid of any tunnels and stuff. Now ideally, we would want to run this to there. I'm just going to keep it like super simple. Now, I do like the idea of the bridges. Maybe not so much one there. But what if I did some different styles? I'm going to go with that just for a bit of fun. Just for a bit of fun, I'm going to go with that. Right, that works. We can now go back into play mode, which means I get to create like a somewhat of a tram system. So, or a bus route, it doesn't really matter. So bus and tram stop, we're going to treat it as if it's a loop line. So I'm going to go to there. I'm then going to go to there, 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 there. To then bring it to there. Right. I might just do it as a bus route just to kind of keep it super simple. So a new line, we go there, 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 and then back again. Now that does exactly what I need it to do in reality. And do I just kind of keep it a bus route? I might just keep it a bus route. If it becomes too much, we'll change it. And I'll build that up in the mountains just completely out of the way. Right, this is so weird. I know this is so weird right now, but just bear with me. Now, I could go with the streetcar style. I could do with the, you know, bendy bussy. And we can reduce emissions. I think we'll go with these. And I'll do 5 of them. So line 7. I haven't given it a name yet. Right. Can I smoothen here? Is smoothening an option? It is, but I don't think it's going to help me. Yeah, I don't think it's going to help me. Right, we now need to create the valid airport route. So I can't believe I've built an airport on a mountain. This is so cool. Right, new line. Straight to the airport. And gotta make it pink. So in the Cam airport here, we'll make it go on number 1. And this is Cuba. Yeah, Haiti, plane. Simple. Now, we'll do 1 plane to begin with. Like I said, just keep it super simple. Passenger capacity. And I think we're using the 757s, wasn't we? Yeah. There we go. We are now. All of a sudden, Haiti's just got passengers and cargo all in one go. Hasn't had any cargo delivered yet. But it will soon get there. It will soon get there. Right, this is very exciting. This is very exciting for Haiti. So the first ships are over. There is some food and alcohol on board on one. There is some cigars on the one behind it. So it's slowly happening for us. And there's definitely a lot more behind waiting on the next journey. Right, so no transport has happened yet for the alcohol, so that's not yet leveled up. Cigars not yet leveled up. We're going to increase the shipment numbers. Same with the food, but I think this is leveled up, right? And again, shouldn't be too long before it levels up again. Just got to wait for those numbers to move around. But Haiti is getting there. So we're going to have the initial wave of people that want to be transported. And then those demands should then realistically slow down. It should then slow down a little bit. All right, money coming in. Very good. Buildings are getting bigger, so Haiti's going to go for a bit of a growth spurt now. It's been plateaued for a long time. I don't know if we're already bringing people up here right now. Are these 3 people going to get off straight to the airport? Quick little U-turn there. Yeah, they're getting off. They're going to the airport. They're out of here, boys. They are out of there, immigrating already. It's wild to see that, by the way. Now, where's our plane? A plane's already come and gone. Oh, no, that's our Mexican one. Where's our... Where's... Oh, it hasn't even taken off yet. Unless it has. It's already landed and I wasn't even paying attention. But I'm hoping it doesn't cause any emissions. So, yeah, no emissions that we need to worry about. What's the route here? Oh, it flies around there. I think it's high enough at that point. It's already reaches altitude that it doesn't cause emissions. But there we go. We've now got some goods being delivered to Haiti. So, like I said, they're going to go for a huge growth spurt now. They really are. How big are they anyway? Their resident size is just under 400. Jamaica's 800. Wow, okay, that's interesting. Real interesting, boys. So no alcohol deliveries for quite some time. What's going on here? Now, Santiago... Wait, what are you doing? You're taking alcohol? Oh, that's right, because they would take it back so that can produce... Where is it? More. It kind of distributes the goods more evenly, so that will accept more. Okay, I get it now. I see why that's leveled up so quickly. Because there is technically an additional consumer. Right. How is it looking over here anyway? We still got to wait for these numbers to fully increase. Now, I could just... We know where it's going to go, but I could give it an artificial helping hand by configuring it and already putting it to level 2. Just to kind of speed things up slightly. Now, it does mean that they'll instantly level down, but I can give it like a kick up the booty first to rock and roll. Like I can configure here and put it to like level 8. Now, instantly it's going to level down, but it's going to be demanding more in general. So if I did the same to this as well, configure this level 8, and then all it's going to do is going to artificially speed up, but then it will reduce down to its operating level instantly. So level you up. Level you up as well. I'm going to artificially level them up, but they will then reduce down to their artificial level. So that will automatically level up anyway, so I haven't got to worry about that. And then same with this one. So, like I said, artificial speed up, but they're going to degrade or downgrade themselves to their actual operating level. It just speeds up the industry a little bit quicker, which means these will then start producing a bit more. We'll have more stuff that then needs to be shipped. Okay. Okay. This should now work in our favor. And it's all about just now giving it time. That's all we can do, is give it some time. So Haiti's already growing. It's already going for a big expansion right now, which is great to see. Exactly what we want from them. Exactly what we want. And gives us another form of passengers for the airport, which is then going to make our airport route a little bit more busier. Oh, it's now starting to break profit. So if we can get it to be pretty full every single time, then that's a bonus. It's already full bringing people back. And then is it full taking them back? Let's find out. Not quite yet, but hopefully once it's full in both directions, that's pretty good for me. Right. The Sancti to Cam line looks like it could do with an additional train. Yep. Looking pretty solid. And how is this line doing anyway? Las Tunas to Santiago. It's just about turning a profit now, so I won't add another train on. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So, do you reckon it's time for me to add more ships? I'm not too sure just yet. This line here we could probably do with adding an additional 5 because the amount of tobacco that now needs to be moved is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. So let's get some more ships on the go. That train there, by the way, needs either to be slightly bigger at 200 capacity, but potentially a second one at the same time. Now, we've only got one train over here on this line, right? Am I right in saying that? Yes. So we're going to duplicate one to then duplicate 2 more. I'm going all out. I'm going all out on that line. There's a lot of grain that needs to be shifted. How much do you say? Well, that's already blue, so I might. Cargo building's the big boy. Just drop down some additional storage buildings to keep storing the goods so it doesn't go to waste. Did that not pick up? Oh, it didn't pick up. Weak. Right, spacing them out hopefully pretty well. Oh, is that the other... sorry, the other train? Is that the... no, that's not that one. I'm thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of a different one. I think that's our... yeah, that's the one we just purchased with the cargo goods. So yeah, this is a nice little artificial boost. It should do us wonders. Should be pretty okay. Right, so it's just a case of now just giving it time. Santiago's gone through the roof, by the way. All of a sudden, it's now growing up on this side. Limited by its topography, of course it is. Now, one thing I never checked in this series for quite some time is what is the biggest city? It is Havana. Havana is the biggest city, boys. Then Pina de Rio. Then Cancun, Mexico. Then Miami. Wow. So where's Havana? Here is Havana right now. Nice sprawling area. I like how my original tram route is now in a city. But it's still growing. I think it's because it's reaching new destinations, new places, but also increased goods. It's getting there. It is getting there. So we will end it for now. We've done a lot of work to add these new industries, and now we just got to give them time to produce the quantities that we're after, for us then to add more ships, have more movement, and ultimately be making more money. Now, I don't particularly think I would have increased my revenue. Not really. We've had a record income of 869 million. We are pushing the $1 billion, so give us some time, give us a few more years to pass in game, and these new industries that we've created should be firing on all cylinders. Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully. So this has got grain, this has got alcohol, this has got distilled alcohol. It seems to have it all. I'm surprised it's not taken tobacco, which it probably could do with doing. If I added a connection here to then also go to here, that does give us the ability for them to then start transporting this tobacco. Okay, it only reaches the one. Back over as well. So it gives us like an additional product, which means that this line here could do with doubling up right now. And it just means more goods that get carried on these ships, the more money it makes in both directions. So that's what's important for us. That is what's important. So this tobacco will go into there and then hopefully get sent up to here. That's what we're hoping for. That is what we are hoping for. Right. We'll leave it for now. We'll see how it gets on in a couple of episodes' time. But other than that, we're doing absolutely fantastic, boys. Goods being delivered left, right, and center. So, I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please smash that like button down below. And until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.